I'm here at Outcome Golf Club with Jonny from JA Bowker. Just going to talk us through some pre-start checks on a general cylinder mower.
Hey, alright everyone. Right, this is a Ransom's Super Bowl 51. It's a pretty common mower, to be fair. Something similar to what you'll see around. You might even have one yourself. The older style Ransom Super Bowls and Super Surtees. The cutting unit I'm about to show you, and stuff like that, that's pretty much the same. And you'll find a lot of the things on this will be pretty similar on most machines you'll find. A lot of machines have got Honda engines on like this, etc. But again, the points I'm going to show you on this machine, if you're unsure where any of the points are, just go to your manual and they'll tell you where all these bits are. Right, so firstly, pre-start checks. We need to check your engine oil. Usually on these smaller engines, you'll find something like this on the front or the back side of the engine. Most of the time it'll be on both. Now literally all we have to do is just unscrew that and just check the oil level. Now they've got a little dipstick in there, so as long as it comes up to the top of the dipstick, then that's fine. You'll usually be able to see the oil level with the bottom of that hole there, which that level's perfect. Again, this is a machine that's come in for service, come in for its annual service, so these people have obviously been checking their oil, etc. The next thing is your air filter. That's usually located on the top of the engine or on the side. On this Honda engine it's on the top. So you access that just by unscrewing this little wing nut here. Popping that off. And again, you can see there's no loose debris on that, etc. Now when these come in for their annual service, usually these will be changed because there'll be a muck deep embedded inside there. So like I say, as long as there's no muck blocking this sponge, you should be absolutely fine. And again, petrol, you need to check your fuel. Obviously, there's not much in this, and the, the fuel tank's disgusting with 12 months use, obviously grass clippings and that get inside the tank. If you start seeing a tank like this, then that really does need cleaning out, because that it's going to suck muck through and block your carburetor, which will obviously stop your engine running. Now, there's another thing on these machines that you need really to do weekly. A lot of people, a lot of you cut 2-3 times a week, etc. And that's greasing. Greasing is one of the main things on these machines. Now, what you'll find on this machine in particular are the cylinder bearings on either side. And that's just these little grease nipples here. Now, you do have to have a grease gun to grease these. If you don't have one, definitely invest in one and a good quality grease. A couple of pumps in them weekly, it'll just flush your bearings out, because these have got what they call labyrinth seals in the front, and they rely on grease to expel any moisture, dirt, grass, etc. And if you don't grease them, you get muck in the bearings, and the bearings inevitably fail, causing all sorts of problems. On this particular machine, these front rollers are disposable, so there's no maintenance on that front roller. Some machines like Lloyd's Paladin, etc. will have grease nipples on them, so again, grease them. And in this machine, there is grease nipples inside the rear roller. I'll not show you them, but they are actually located inside the rear roller. Again, go to your manuals, find out where all your grease points are on your machine, find out how often to grease them, because it'll save you an absolute fortune in the long run. For example, here's some bearings. That's an old bearing, but it's off a machine that's been well greased, and literally all I've done is clean it up and it's come up almost like new. Now, these are off machines that haven't been greased, and you can see they're full of sand, muck, water. Again, this is what they call a tapered roller bearing, or a cup and comb bearing, and you can see that's what a lack of grease does. It just allows all sorts of debris to enter the bearing, and it causes bearing failure. Again, I can't stress just how much money this will save you in the long run, just keeping your machines greased. You really would be surprised.
Thanks.